Good morning to our panelists and online audience. I am Cristel Antoinette Pitalyon, your moderator for today's panel discussion. We often hear about 21st century learners and the knowledge and skills our students will need in the future. But what about teachers? What instructional skills will 21st century teachers need to prepare our students? How are they different from the skills teachers needed in the past? In recent years, the quality of education has significantly changed. If previously, the university's major aim was that of providing students with certain types of knowledge that they were expected to apply later, the universities today focuses primarily on life skills. Our aim is to teach students to obtain knowledge by themselves and to work in ways that enable them to come up with new ideas. Generating new ideas is a key tenet of modern society. We need professionals who are actually competent, talented, innovative, and creative problem solvers, skilled and critical thinkers. New technologies give an opportunity to encourage critical thinking. We must provide students with skills that will help them work collaboratively and sensitively in team, become decision makers, plan and manage their time effectively, listen to one another, and choose the right communication strategy at the right time. Thereby, we have come to understand that to meet these new teaching requirements, we need 21st century teaching skills. And with that being said, the topic that our panelists will be discussing today is the 21st century teachers. But before we get into the discussion proper, let me introduce our panelists. The first is Ms. Kathleen Yuba, the second is Ms. Jillian Sabalones, and the last one is Ms. Sheza Serposa. Each panelist will be given 4 minutes to deliver their points. Audience are encouraged to take down notes, since a question and answer part will follow after the discussions. Now let us start our discussion with our first panelist, who will be discussing about the 21st century standards and curriculum.
Before we delve into the roles and characteristics of the 21st century teacher, let us first have a better understanding of the 21st century standards and curriculum in order to have a good grasp on our topic for today's discussion. So the 21st century standards the teachers, curriculum developers, and the schools should meet in order to create a meaningful learning to the students are the following. First, it focuses on the 21st century skills, content knowledge, and expertise. Second, it builds understanding across and among core subjects, as well as the 21st century interdisciplinary themes. Third, it emphasizes deep understanding rather than shallow knowledge. Fourth, it engages students with the real-world data, tools, and experts they will encounter in college, on the job, and in life. And lastly, it allows for multiple measures of mastery. The standards are designed to be robust and relevant to the real world, reflecting the knowledge and skills that our young people will need for success in college and careers and be positioned to compete successfully in the global economy. Therefore, curriculum in the 21st century should focus on the construction of knowledge and encourage students to produce the information that has value or meaning to them in order to develop new skills. Preparing curriculum to be connected with the real world can support student participation, their motivation, and understanding for the academic subjects, as well as preparing them for adult life. That's according to Lombardi 2007. Education should focus on both core academic subject mastery and 21st century skills development. These skills help students to be ready for college and career life. Teachers must use various strategies in order to achieve these 21st century skills. These strategies should incorporate problem solving, critical thinking, collaborative learning, environment integration, and digital tools in teaching. That's according to TSAC 1974. However, Wiggins and McTay 2005 stated that by combining core academic content and necessary future skills, students can have a bright future. Research has continually shown that the application of the 21st century curriculum and instruction is very significant in preparing students with the essential skills and will help them satisfy their desire to be successful in the future.
Thank you, Ms. Kathleen Yuba. Now let us head on to our second panelist, which will discuss on the roles and characteristics of 21st century teachers.
Teachers play a big role in helping the student understand and achieve the 21st century skills and standards. I have prepared a list of competencies that teachers must attain in order to consider themselves as 21st century teachers. First, effective classroom management, maximizing efficiency, maintaining discipline and morale, promoting teamwork, planning, communicating, focusing on results, evaluating progress, and making constant adjustments. A range of strategies should be employed to promote positive relationships, cooperation, and purposeful learning. Organizing, assigning, and managing time, space, and activities should ensure the active and equitable engagement of students in productive tasks. Second, effective teaching practices, representing differing viewpoints, theories, ways of knowing, and methods of inquiry in the teaching of subject matter concepts. Multiple teaching and learning strategies should help engage students in active learning opportunities that promote the development of critical thinking, problem solving, and performance capabilities while helping them assume responsibility for identifying and using learning resources. Third, effective assessment, incorporating formal tests, responses to quizzes, evaluation of classroom assignments, student performance and projects, and standardized achievement tests to understand what students have learned. Assessment strategies should be developed that involve learner and self-assessment activities to help them become aware of their strengths and needs and encourage them to set personal goals for learning. Fourth, we have technology skills, knowing when and how to use current educational technology as well as the most appropriate type of level of technology to maximize student learning. Lastly, demonstrate leadership. Teachers lead in the classroom by evaluating students' progress using a variety of assessment data, measuring goals, drawing on appropriate data to develop classroom and instructional plans, maintaining a safe and orderly classroom that facilitates student learning, and positive management of student behavior, effective communication to diffuse and de-escalate disruptive or dangerous behavior, and safe and appropriate seclusion and restraint techniques. Teachers should also demonstrate leadership in the school by engaging in collaborative and collegial professional learning activities, identifying the characteristics of critical elements of a school improvement plan, and displaying an ability to use appropriate data to identify areas of need that should be addressed in a school improvement plan.
Thank you, Ms. Jillian Sabalones, for giving us an enlightenment in the roles and characteristics of the 21st century teacher. Now, let us proceed for our last panelist for today. She will be tackling about changing the global landscape of education through 21st century teaching.
Changing the global landscape of education through 21st century teaching. Teachers are open for students' questions, clarifications, and suggestions. According to Minigan 2017, in their framework for 21st century learning, 21st century recognizes the importance of teachers developing their students' learning and innovation skills. Asking questions is not simply a means to gather information. Rather, by asking questions, students can identify their own knowledge gaps and think critically about what they are learning, assess information from individuals and other sources of information, think creatively and divergently, and work constructively with others. Curiosity and the skill of formulating questions supports the 4Cs while also tapping into a skills that is not highlighted in the framework for 21st century learning. underwent formal teacher preparation. Professional development in the 21st century is important to the growth and development of contemporary educators. Today's educational realm is full of multiple perspective, technologies, and opportunities for students and educational leaders. The goal of professional development for educators is to go beyond maintenance and create sustainability and professional longevity. As today's students continue to change and evolve in the areas of technology and access to information, the core values of being firm, fair, and consistent with their learning remains true. For teachers, effective in PD in 21st century comes from realizing this and finding ways to enhance teaching and learning strategies. Teachers must know how to collaborate. An effective 21st century educator must be able to collaborate and work well within a team. Over the past decade, this important skills has grown quite rapidly in schools. Learning is deemed to be more effective when you can share ideas and knowledge with others. Sharing your expertise and experience and communicating and learning from others is an important part of learning and teaching process. Utilizes broad pedagogy that may aid learners' diversity. Pedagogy refers to the method and practices of a teacher. It's how they approach their teaching style and relates to the different theories that they use, how they give feedback, and the assessments they set. 21st century teachers offer various pedagogies that aim to support learners through their journey so that they can achieve maximum outcome. Employing effective pedagogy approaches enables students to reach their full potential and provide strong foundation for learning. This also helps students to realize their own capability, which improves their self-confidence and self-esteem. In turn, this increases the likelihood of students in achieving as they will be more motivated to participate in different activities. Flexible and adaptive to global learning changes. Flexibility and adaptability in the classroom are two of the most important qualities that every teacher must possess. These two characteristics also go hand in hand with one another. Flexibility is the idea that your plans can change very quickly, sometimes with notice and sometimes without. Adaptability, on the other hand, is the ability to adapt change. In general, it is being able to acclimate yourself to changing rules, job responsibilities, materials, and schedules. If you cannot accommodate for this different aspect of teaching, it will be difficult to give your students the best learning experience that they could possibly get in your class. Conduct research to customize teaching plans and solve classroom problems. An increasing number of teachers are conducting their own research into teaching and learning. This enables them to try out new ideas and share results with others. Teachers can find support from organizations or individuals who provide advice on study design. It also gives them an opportunity to contribute to the growing evidence base in the classroom. As teachers, it is vital that research is embedded into every aspect of your professional development. Research can help you find out solutions to particular problems arising in your classroom or school. It can also help you to understand your professional and policy context organizationally, locally, and nationally.
Thank you to our last panelist, Ms. Shazel Sorposa. So that was the end of our panel discussion. Let us head on to our question and answer part. I request the audience to type their questions on the comment box below, and after which the panelists will be given 3 minutes to answer each of your questions. The first question is, what should be the focus of the 21st century standards and curriculum and how to implement it?
In an age of education where standardized tests determine the success of our schools, it is important to allow students the creativity and use the power of technology to support necessary skills and learn in unique ways. By allowing creative thinking and gauging understanding of content standards through a portfolio-based system, students can display their concept retention while producing tangible and valuable outcomes. The future of our students depends on flexibility and resourcefulness, not teaching to the test. Education needs to make an instructional shift in order to ensure our students succeed as the innovators of the future. According to PAIG 2009, adopting a 21st century curriculum should blend knowledge, thinking, innovation skills, media information and communication technology or ICT literacy, and real-life experience in the context of the core academic subjects. In order to achieve authentic learning that is demanded in the 21st century, students engage in the learning environment effectively and develop 21st century skills such as critical thinking, problem solving, and collaboration. In this way, students will be prepared with the necessary knowledge and life skills that will help them be successful in their future careers. That's according to Lombardi 2007. Therefore, curriculum in the 21st century should focus on the construction of knowledge and encourage students to produce the information that has value or meaning to them in order to develop new skills. Preparing curriculum to be connected with the real world can support student participation, their motivation, and understanding for the academic subjects, as well as preparing them for adult life.
Second question, how important were the 21st century skills?
In this globally and digitally interconnected world, all learners from cradle to career need new skills and knowledge to succeed. If we want to prepare our children for success in school, work, and life, opportunities to learn the 21st century skills are essential. These 21st century skills are more important to students now than ever before. According to Ross 2017, the 21st century skills not only provide a framework for successful learning in the classroom, but ensure students can thrive in a world where change is constant and learning never stops. And they are also tremendously important for our nation's well-being. Our business community demands a workforce with these skills to ensure our competitiveness in a global economy. And at a time when our civic life feels strained, we want our learners to enter the world with an understanding of what it takes to be a good citizen. One can be civically engaged, critically thinking, digitally literate, globally aware, and an effective communicator.
Third question, what specific skills teachers must have to address the learning styles of the 21st century students?
In the 21st century, many skills are important for the advancement of society, innovation being among them. However, when it comes to the skills that a teacher should acquire, critical thinking, problem solving, communication, cooperation, creativity, and leadership are among the first-ranked skills. This is according to Dennis and Tikan 2019. First, critical thinking. A teacher's critical thinking skills can deepen students' academic learning and are also beneficial for the successful interactions and relationships. Critical thinking skills also help students assess whether they have all the parts of a story and how to explore the difference between assumptions, perspective, and facts with an open and curious mind. Next, problem solving. Problem solving is fundamental to education because educators are interested in improving students' ability to solve problems. Problems are a part of our lives and every problem has a solution. Students who learn how to solve problems have a deeper understanding of cause and effect. Teachers often urge students to look for patterns or make predictions. Problem-solving skills then boost reflective critical thinking. Next, we have communication. When the teacher have the ability to actively listen and communicate respectfully with others, even and especially with disagreeing, can help students build stronger relationship as well as deepen learning during discussion. It is a critical skill for operating in multilingual and multicultural environment, both in the classroom and in daily life. Next, cooperation. When a teacher is working well with other teachers, serve as a foundational life skill for students to develop as they learn to navigate relationship in the classroom, at home, and eventually in the workplace. Students would cooperate as well as they can observe this attitude to their teachers. Students would learn to consider each other's perspective and experiences as they take on unique rules to achieve and shared goals. Next, creativity. Creativity is a cluster of skills that are needed to produce ideas that are both original and valuable. Teachers' creativity has been defined as teachers using imaginative approaches to make learning more interesting, exciting, and effective. Lastly, leadership. Effective teachers need to be leaders for their students. It is critically important that teachers possess leadership skills because it is fundamental factors that is required to enhance the instructional quality of teachers, both inside and outside the classroom. Teachers' leadership skills have the ability to integrity, commitment, strong communication skills, expertise, courage, focus, generosity, initiative, passion, positive attitude, problem-solving abilities, and responsibility.
For our last question, how can a teacher cater with the needs and demands of the 21st century students?
There are various rules a teacher must fulfill on a day-to-day basis that form a part of the responsibility as an educator. Evidently, differentiating a lesson to meet individual needs plays a significant role in their classroom. However, this ultimately takes place during planning for the lesson, which in turn ensures that every child is challenged and provided with sufficient provision to ensure that they are stretched and educated to a high standard. Identifying and meeting individual learner needs boosts their morale and encourages them. In some cases, the learner doesn't gain much from mass instruction. As such, when the teacher prescribes individually prescribed instruction, it significantly helps learners to understand and grasp educational concept. Meeting the various needs of all learners takes strategy, planning, practice, and guidance. Educators face in finding strategies and resources to support success in all their students. Kaufman 2020 indicated that there are instructional strategies linked to the growth areas of reaching students to meet their needs. First, connect to students' interests. Engage students by understanding their interests and provide challenging tasks for them based on their skills by trying a strategy such as choice boards. Second, provide learning experiences based on students' individual learning strengths. Ensure that all students have the ability to acquire knowledge in multiple, flexible ways based on their strengths or areas of their needs. Third, allow students to demonstrate what they've learned in multiple ways. Allow students to demonstrate their mastery of topics in a diversity of flexible methods. Support students to choose leveled activities with guidance to self-assess their understanding. Lastly, ensure equitable access. Provide scaffolded support with purpose by engaging in differentiated lesson planning or examine classroom management practices by exploring the classroom management reconsidered strategy.
That was the end of our question and answer. But before we formally end our discussion, let me have a brief summary of the key points from our panelists. And this is, teachers need a wide range of competencies in order to face the complex challenges of today's world. Teaching competency is an inherent element of an effective training process, one that aspires to contribute to the welfare of a particular country or the world itself. The central figures in the educational process are teachers. The success of training and education depends on their preparation, erudition, and performance quality. Teachers must be able to perform complex pedagogical duties, to be well-spoken, in good mental and physical health, stable and tolerant, to have a propensity to work with younger generation, good communicative and observational skills, tact, and vivid imagination and leadership. Innovation alters the pedagogical system, improving the teaching process and its results. Among the aims of innovation are increased motivation in teaching and educational activity, an increased volume of material studied per lesson, accelerated training, and more effective time management. 21st century competencies have been defined as the knowledge, skills and attitudes necessary to be competitive in the 21st century workforce, teacher preparation and professional development should be reworked to incorporate training in teaching key competencies. The 21st century teacher needs to know how to provide technologically supported learning opportunities for students and know how technology can support student learning. So that would be all for our panel discussion. Thank you to our dear panelists and to our audience. Once again, I am Cristel Antoinette Pitalyon, your moderator for today.